gegnerische Schiff zerstört.
The Tier 10 German battleship is what the Germans were going to build. If naval warfare in the Atlantic wasn't just all about submarines and sinking boring supply vessels, those German boys decided Stalingrad was the better destination. But we all know how the story came out on history books. The fate of German products in this game is not much better overall, despite having the top tier destroyer line. When Citadel is all about RNG, and angling doesn't stop you from being slapped for a big chunk of damage, German products are truly a misery to play. Look at Hindenburg, or Rune, or anything German in this game that is not a destroyer. Then here comes the biggest pile of junk in the game. This pile of junk actually has the best secondary reset in the game, along with a blessing special consumable that is almost exclusive for German battleships. Exactly. So you build Großer Kurfürst with secondary. That is right. You heard it. Build it with secondary. So you enjoy its specialty. You need to take close quarter combat expert on skill level 9 of commander in order to maximize the fun. On top of that, getting secondary battery modification 2 is recommended. Now you are halfway from being a badass. A badass stands out in the crown of plebeians. Therefore, taking concealment module is important, because not only you become a super badass, but also you are stealthier, allowing you to be a smart badass, not a barbarian one. But because the meta is all about playing passive in tier 10, you are probably going to be sniping most of the time. But why not the sniping build? It is the worst ship for sitting at range because of the turret layout, and on top of that you have to deal with absolute coward people playing Yamato, or Vermont, or anything that has better main gun range than Großer and Park in their spawn. So playing secondary build Großer forces you to think like a madman. You start the game by sniping, but you are going to look out for destroyer locations, along with remembering their torpedo range and reload time. Or if there are HE spammers, you sit out of their range, and snipe them until you know you can push up without selling your HP bar to the glowing flames. You have enough range and quite enough dispersion to hit them before they could do anything. If you spot people who uses super long range Russian cruisers to shoot HE, you laugh at them and calmly use rocks to push up, because Russian Tech 3 cruisers at tier 10 are all AP cruisers. Those who shoots HE are definitely new players, or have zero idea of what they are doing, or just haven't seen my cruiser videos yet. So how should you play Großer? Starting off by sniping, and find islands to push up and use islands to shield yourself from being focused, because everyone can see your ship from space. Having concealment allows yourself to slip through gaps without being spotted by cruisers. The fact that nearly no one uses concealment on big ships, you can practically get closer to them before being spotted, giving them zero time to react because you are already full speed into their camping and reverse space. After that you pop your consumable, aim like a pro, and count big damage. Großer or German battleships are quite difficult to play in general, especially if everyone is camping like pussies. However, it doesn't mean that they are not rewarding if you play it right. You get to love the power of secondary, blasting big main gun hits because they can't miss on shotgun range, and more importantly playing it right makes you a super cool badass. It is fun, very rewarding, even though it is definitely having a lot of drawbacks such as an oversized body, inconsistent accuracy on main guns, and very sluggish maneuver. Having good hydro somewhat makes up for the bad maneuver, and that is if you are proactive on dodging torpedo demons. So here is how you play Großer. You follow this chart, starting off with sniping. You watch for the situation as how many ships you have to fight if you push. If it is a 1 versus 1, or 1 versus 2 but one of them is almost dead, you proceed to push, then go back to watching the situation. If everything permits, you repeat, but if things go wrong, you get back to sniping and keep the chart going in your mind. Here comes the build. You can use a regular German commander, or Frank von Hipper, or the other premium dude, which are all presented here. Make sure you follow these instructions closely, And yes, the space camo is recommended over historical camo because secondary life matters, but it is not the end of the world if you don't have space camo. After all of that, then you may rule the seas, or sink early because it is still a very tough ship to play right. But don't worry, we all learn, and at some point, I believe you will get the idea, and start having blast consistent fun with Großer and German battleships. Now go out there, show those puss what you learned. Good luck.